Now let us take a look at how to simplify quadratic expressions by adding or subtracting. Now we know that when we are adding or subtracting, we can only add together like terms. So what do we mean by like terms? To recap what we have learned in Sec 1, like terms are basically terms with the same variables. Now same variables contains two things. Firstly, it must be the same letter, the same alphabet, and secondly, the power of the alphabet must be the same. So I've written down some examples here for us to take a look. For example, 3 times a versus 4a square. You can see that the letter is the same, but this is power 2, whereas here the power is 1. This means they are not like terms. Okay, so the letter must be the same and the power must be the same. In the second example, the letters are A times B, and this one is A times C. So you can see that definitely they are not even the same letter, so this is also not considered like terms. In the next example, we have 4 times A times B and 6 times B times A. Now the order of the letters are different, but can you see that the letters are still the same? In other words, I can write 6BA as 6AB as well. The order does not matter in this multiplication. Therefore, since the letters are the same and the power in this case for A are both 1, for B also both are 1. Therefore, this is considered like terms. In the last example, we have 3y square and negative 2y square. Both terms contain y and the power is both square. Therefore, these are considered like terms. So, the first thing to do when we are adding or subtracting quadratic expressions is to check which are the like terms. So, we can only add together like terms. So, let us take a look at example 1a here. Negative 7x squared plus 3x squared minus 2x squared. All the terms have the variable x squared, so they are all like terms, so we can just add them together. So how do we add them together? Just like how we add in linear expressions. So for example, let's say this was 7 apples plus negative 7 apples plus 3 apples minus 2 apples. They are all the same thing, so we basically just add the numbers together. Negative 7 plus 3 is negative 4. Negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. So the answer is just negative 6x squared. Let us look at part B. Now part B, there's a 4p squared. The next term is negative 3, which is not like. The next one is negative 2p. The power is not the same, so it's not a like term. And then after that, we have a negative 3p squared. So these two are like terms, so let me add these two first. 4p squared minus 3p squared is 1p squared. Next, I'm going to look at the next term, which is negative 3. Now, there are no other constant terms. Can you see there are no other terms without any variable? Therefore, the negative 3 can't be simplified any further. So, it's just negative 3. Next, let us look at the terms with p. There's a negative 2p and a negative p. The variable is the same, the power is the same. So these two terms can be combined together. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. So that means this is negative 3p. Let us look at part C. For part C, let us take a look at the first one, which is negative 5q squared. And then I take a look at whether there's any more q squared term, and there's a negative 6q squared. Always remember to look at the term together with the sign in front, whether it's positive or negative. So now we have negative 5q squared minus 6q squared. So that is negative 11q squared. Next, let us take a look at the q term. There's a positive 3q and a minus q. So 3q minus q will give us positive 2q. And lastly, there's a positive 2 and then there's a negative 7. So positive 2 minus 7 will give us negative 5. Okay, so this is how we combine or simplify algebraic expressions with quadratic terms.